The charm and caution of Friday the 13th, but with an Irish twist. So I was going to look at the origins of Friday the 13th and its Irish twist, superstitions, luck and folklore in the fun, light-hearted look at this infamous day. So Friday the 13th, the day that sends shivers down the spine of superstitious folks all over the world, from the infamous horror movie franchise to whispers of ill fate. It has long held a place in popular culture as the unluckiest day of them all. But what's the real story behind this day of dread? It was interesting to look this up. And was Ireland a land known for its rich folklore and charming tales of luck, like four-leaf clovers, anything like that? Does this have any special spin on this infamous date? So let's take a light-hearted look. So first of all, the global roots of Friday the 13th. So this is a quick recap. As you know, the combination of Fridays and the number 13 has long been associated with bad luck. But where does it come from? So I found a few sources. So a few sources are to blame. So Christianity. The fear of Friday the 13th stems in part from the Bible. Jesus' Last Supper, including 13 people, 12 apostles and Judas who betrayed him. Jesus was crucified on a Friday, which linked the day to misfortune. The combination of an unlucky day, Friday, and an unlucky number 13 was, well, doubly unlucky. Another point, Norse mythology. In Norse legends, the trickster god Loki, L-O-K-I, was the 13th uninvited guest at a divine dinner party in Valhalla, where things went disastrously wrong. The beloved god Balder was killed as a result, and since then 13 became associated with bad fortune. The Knights Templar, another one. Some even link the superstition to Friday, October the 13th, 1307, when King Philip of France ordered the arrest of the Knights Templar. Many were tortured and executed, and it's said their misfortunes cemented the bad reputation of this date. That was King Philip IV. So wow, so I was looking at this and I said, right, what is this? So cultural influence. Over time, the fear of the number 13, known as, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, TriskaidekaphobiA. Right, combined with superstitions around Fridays to form, I'm giving you another word, Paraskevikeatriaphobia, which is the fear of Friday the 13th. I had no idea about this. I'll have to learn how to pronounce those two words. This superstition grew thanks in part to a popular culture. Hollywood movies, particularly Friday the 13th horror series, played a big role in cementing the day's reputation as one of terror. Suddenly, what was once a mildly ominous date on the calendar became a source of global intrigue and nervous anticipation. So if you combine these elements with a healthy dose of pop culture and the fear of this day, it took a life on of its own. So it's interesting to know what people think on Friday the 13th. So Friday the 13th in Ireland, is it luck or misfortune? Ireland is a country steeped in both superstition and storytelling, but oddly enough, Friday the 13th hasn't traditionally been seen as particularly unlucky here. The fear surrounding the date was likely imported over time through Christian traditions and later pop culture. We have our superstitions, but our legends are more likely to involve, I hate saying this, but mischievous leprechauns, bad-tempered banshees, or fairies playing tricks, none of whom, by the way, seem to care much about calendars. Irish superstitions, that seem or do matter to some. While Friday the 13th may not be top of mind, Irish people have plenty of other quirks when it comes to luck. So magpies, I don't know how many times I've heard people saying this. Spotting a single magpie is unlucky, but seeing two is a sign of joy, one for sorrow, two for joy, and so on. Horseshoes, a horseshoe placed above the door but upright is believed to bring good luck. Fairy forts, I remember seeing those as a child. And whatever you do, don't tamper with fairy forts, those mysterious ancient ring forts dotted along the countryside. Tales abound of bad feeling or bad luck befalling those who disturb the fairies' domain. Crossing paths with a black cat. Now, while unlucky in other cultures, a black cat crossing your path is often seen as a good omen in Ireland. So talk about a twist. So the Irish twist, what about 13? Well, interestingly, the number 13 doesn't seem to have the same sinister reputation in Irish folklore. Some might argue that given our Celtic roots, the number might even be seen as a bit mystical. In ancient Celtic beliefs, the year was divided into 13 months, with the calendar showing the moon's cycles. 13 was associated with natural cycles, far removed from the doom-laden narratives of the Christian calendar. Could it be that the Irish might see Friday the 13th as another day on the calendar, full of potential for good fortune, or at least a cuppa or a cheeky pint at the local pub? So a fun Friday the 13th in Ireland. If you find yourself in Ireland on Friday the 13th, as I did today, don't expect anyone to shy away from their plans or stay home cowering in fear. The Irish might see the day as opportunity for fun, humour and a few well-timed pranks. After all, if a leprechaun can hide his pot of gold at the end of a rainbow, who's to say Friday the 13th can't bring a little extra luck into your life? Now, from a work perspective, some supervisors may have employees who may avoid work due to superstitions surrounding Friday the 13th, and this can pose an unexpected challenge for managers and supervisors as they have to navigate absences linked to deep-rooted beliefs. Now that's a bit tough in its own right. It's a reminder of how cultural superstitions can still influence modern workplaces. Perhaps it's an excellent opportunity to flip the script and turn Friday the 13th into a fun team-building day rather than one filled with dread. I really do wonder how many people didn't turn up for work today, mainly because it's Friday, but Friday the 13th. So whether you're avoiding cracks in the sidewalk, dodging black cats or just having a laugh, Friday the 13th doesn't need to be all doom and gloom. And in Ireland, where folklore is celebrated and humour never runs dry, is just as likely to be a day of charm as it is of caution. So, as we say, grab yourself a 4-leaf clover, that cuppa or that pint, avoid those fairy forts, and maybe, just maybe, your next Friday the 13th will be the luckiest yet. Slàinte. By the way, potential lucky course to complete or to consider is the 6N 4329 Supervisory Management QQI Certified Level 6 course, which you can find on our website. So thank you. Bye.